when steel is provided steel is provided at at tension as well as as well as at compression zone at compression zone such member such member is called is called as doubly reinforced section or doubly reinforced member. Such a member is called as doubly reinforced member. Okay, so here what we can see that when the steel is provided in tension zone, okay, normally we will provide the steel in tension zone because we know that steel is strong in carrying the tension and concrete is strong in compression. But sometimes due to some conditions we provide the steel in compression zone also, and these types of sections are called as doubly reinforced sections. Now, so if I draw the diagram, if you see the diagram, then now suppose this is the cross section. Okay, this is the cross section. This is your overall depth of the section, D, capital D. This is the overall depth of the section, capital D. Then this is the neutral axis. This is the neutral axis or x-axis axis. This is our neutral axis. Okay, and then the placement of steel, if you see, this is the width of the section, this is B. Okay, now the steel is provided, the placement of steel at bottom it is provided always. Suppose now 3 bars are there. Okay, so this is the steel in tension zone. So below the neutral axis tension will be there if downward load is acting on the beam, and above the neutral axis, now suppose above the neutral axis if the steel is provided. Okay, so this steel it is provided in compression zone. So area of this steel it is called as ASC, area of steel in compression zone, and this is your area of steel in tension zone. Okay, this is your area of steel in tension zone, AST. So this is area of steel in tension zone, this is your area of steel in compression zone. Okay, so now you know that suppose this is the C, D dash, oh, this is the effective cover from top, and let us assume that this is D dash. Okay, what is the effective depth? So if I show you here effective depth from this point up to the center of this bar, this is your effective depth. Okay, so this is your effective depth, and this is your effective depth here. Okay, in okay. So this is the effective depth in compression zone, this is the effective depth in tension zone, this is your D effective depth, and this is not effective depth, this is the effective cover, that is D dash. D dash is your effective cover. Okay, so this type of section it is called as doubly reinforced section. Okay, similarly if I draw the effective cover in tension zone, then it may be like this. This is the effective cover in tension zone. Okay, so it is roundabout. So this is your, if I call this as DT, effective cover in tension zone, you can call this as, instead of D dash, DC also, effective cover in compression zone, and this is at bottom your effective cover in tension zone. Okay, so now if I write over here the description of this, then you write down this: B is equal to, what is B? It is width of section. B is nothing but it is width of section. Capital D, it is overall depth of section. This is your overall depth. Then small d, it is effective depth of section. Small d is the effective depth of section. Okay. Then your d dash, is equal to effective cover in compression zone. This is your effective cover in compression zone. And then dt, this is your effective cover, in tension zone. In tension zone. Okay, AST, you know that, so I will not write the AST. AST, you know that. What is AST? AST is nothing but it is the area of steel in tension zone. And what is the meaning of ASC? ASC is the area of steel in compression zone. Okay, so AST, T stands for tension, C stands for compression. AST is area of steel in tension zone, and ASC is the area of steel in compression zone. Okay, so now this is the overall look of doubly reinforced section. Now what is the necessity of doubly reinforced section? Why the doubly reinforced sections are provided? Okay, so that we will write some points regarding that. Okay, so here, necessity of doubly reinforced sections. Necessity of doubly reinforced sections. Note down these points. These are the important points. So now why it is needed? So first thing, whenever whenever reversible stresses whenever reversible stresses are expected, whenever the reversible stresses are expected, then the doubly reinforced sections, then the doubly reinforced sections are provided. Okay, so what is the meaning of reversible stresses? Means for some time tension may be at top and compression is at bottom. Okay, for a definite time interval, and after some time it reverses, so tension goes at top and compression comes at bottom. Okay, so these type of situation may occur in the structure. Okay, these types of reversible stresses are possible in big structures, mega structures. Okay, big bridges, girders. In these types of sections where there is a moving load, there is not a static load, there is a moving load. So in those cases the reversible stresses are expected. There may be the reversible stresses. Okay, so for some time, suppose now for a certain time frame. Suppose the tension is at bottom and compression is at top. After passing that certain time frame, it reverses. The tension goes at top and compression comes at bottom. Okay, so now in these types of reversible stresses scenario, if you design the singly reinforced section, in the singly reinforced section, what we do, we generally provide the steel at bottom only. Okay, so at the tension zone. But in the if the reversible happen and if you provide the singly reinforced section, then definitely it will fail, because after some time your tension will be generated at top and compressive stress will be generated at bottom. Okay, so if the singly reinforced section is there at top, there is no reinforcement to resist that stress. Okay, so that is why we go for doubly reinforced section. This is the first reason. Okay, now the second thing is that due to aesthetical purpose, due to aesthetical purpose, sometimes sometimes the of beam depth of beam is restricted, okay, in such situations in such situations doubly reinforced sections are provided. So what is the meaning of this? Now see, due to the aesthetical purpose, sometimes the depth of beam is restricted. So the best example of this is in an apartment. Now if you see a apartment is there, so in that apartment normally the ground floor is there, it is for parking. Okay, you only observe the pillars over there, columns are there, and above the column beams are there. So if you closely observe those beams, many of the times the depth of the beam is same. Okay, तुम्हाला असं कुठेच दिसणार नाही. Many of the times you will not see this, that the depth of the certain one beam is greater, the depth of the another beam is less, or vice versa, or anything. You will not find any difference in the depth of the beam in such a type of structure. Okay, it is why it is given like this, for the aesthetical purpose. Now when you enter there in the ground floor, if the depth of the beam is varying, then it will not look good. Okay, so in such a situations, that what is happen, but the load coming on the beam is not same. Okay, the load coming on the beam is different for different beams, and still you are providing the same depth for all the beams. So in this case, the beam which is carries a maximum load or a greater load, and if you are providing the less depth to that beam, then you have to increase the steel reinforcement, because you are reducing the area of the concrete. You are restricting the depth of the beam. Means what? Suppose now the requirement of the depth of the beam is 750 mm. Okay, and you are providing the depth 550 mm. So what you are indirectly doing, you are reducing the area of concrete by 200 mm. Okay, so that area should be compensated somewhere in the steel. Okay, so that is why you need to increase the area of the steel, and that area of the steel is increased in the compression zone. Okay, so this type of, when this type of scenario is there, there also we will go for the doubly reinforced section. Okay, whenever there is a restriction of the depth of the beam, then also the doubly reinforced sections are provided. Okay, and the third thing is, according to the IS code. Okay, according to the IS code, it says that if reinforcement, if your reinforcement is provided is provided in compression zone in compression zone, then then it improves it improves ductility of the structure. Okay, so whatever member you are designing, if you provide the steel in compression zone also, okay, steel in compression zone, then it improves the ductility of the structure. And ductile structures are always give you the signal before failure. Its failure is not sudden, it will not crash. Okay, if you maintain the ductility of the structure, then it will give you several signals before the failure. Okay, so these are the most predominant reasons because of which we provide the doubly reinforced section. Okay, so there are two basic assumptions in this section. So let us look at that assumptions also. You write down these points. These are the important points. Okay. So now the next thing is the assumptions. There are many assumptions, but I will give you the important assumptions. So first is stress strain relationship. Stress strain relationship remains remains same in compression as well as in tension. Okay, so stress strain relation, you know that stress and strains are proportional to each other. So that relationship is remains same in compression as well as in tension. It is not exactly same. Okay, this is our assumption. We are assuming that whatever the stress strain relationship is there in compression zone, same will be there in tension zone. Okay, second, the modulus of elasticity, that is Young's modulus of elasticity, and and characteristic strength characteristic strength remains remains same in tension and compression zone. Okay, so these are the two predominant assumptions. We can say that stress strain relationship remains same in compression as well as in tension, and the modulus of elasticity and the characteristic strength remains same in tension as well as in compression. Okay, so now we will move into the details of this section. Okay, now suppose this is the doubly reinforced section. It is made up of doubly reinforced sections are made up of singly reinforced sections plus some additional section. So see how it is. So now this is your cross section. Then I will draw the neutral axis. This is the neutral axis. NA. Then all the dimensions, you know that we will draw that previous diagram. So here the tension reinforcement is provided, and at top the compression reinforcement is provided. So this is your effective cover here up to this point. This is your effective cover, let it be D dash, and the effective cover in tension zone, let us say that this is DT. Okay. Now the dimensions are this is your overall depth. Okay, this is your overall depth, and this is your width, and up to from here up to the center of this bar, this is your effective depth. So this is your B, this is small d, this is capital D. So this is the doubly reinforced section. Now how the doubly reinforced section made? If I split it, then I will get this doubly reinforced section is nothing but it is equal to this is the singly reinforced section. Okay, this is the singly reinforced section. This already we have studied. What is there in singly reinforced section? Here we have provided area of steel. So this is steel. Here it is provided steel. There is no reinforcement in the compression zone which we design. We provide the nominal reinforcement over there. Okay. So this is your simple singly reinforced section. Okay. And plus if I add into this one more section, that is the cross section, and now here if I provide one, two bars over here, three bars we will provide at the bottom. This is the additional section, and then at compression also we will provide some bars. Okay, one or two bars. Now if you mix up these two sections, you will get this section. Here I have shown the less number of bars. Instead of that, I will show the more number of bars. Here 3 plus 3 6. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So instead of showing it like this, I will show like this. Second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. So this is your total area of steel. Okay, which is made up of, this is called as AST1 and this is called as AST2. So I can say over here that total area of steel is nothing but AST1 plus AST2. This is your doubly reinforced section. This section is your doubly reinforced section. If I split this section in two different sections, then it will be look like this. First is the singly reinforced section, which is having some of its tensile reinforcement, but compression reinforcement is not there. And in this, if we add this section, okay, so here at top your area of steel is ASC. Here it is your area of steel is ASC. Are you getting the point? Or shall I show the dots over here? Okay, so here also I can show in this way. So these are the bars which are at top. Okay, here also the same thing we can show. These are the three bars which are at top. Its effective covering compression zone is D dash. So here three bars are there in AST1 and the three bars are there in AST2. If you add these two, then you will get our this section. Okay, so this is singly reinforced section, and in this, if I add this section, second section, then if you club together these two sections, you will get this doubly reinforced section. Okay, this is what is the concept, doubly reinforced section. So now regarding the bending moment, the bending moment will be, let us suppose now the total bending moment of this section is mu. The total bending moment of this section is mu. If the singly reinforced section is there, you know the maximum bending moment is what? It is mu limiting. Okay, this is the bending moment for this section. This is the bending moment for this section, and for additional section, let us assume that mu2 is the bending moment. Then I can say that total bending moment mu is equal to what? Mu limiting, that is the bending moment of singly reinforced section plus bending moment of this added section. Okay, तो बेसिकली काय आहे की हा डब्ल्यू रिन्फोर्स सेक्शन आहे, पण हा डब्ल्यू रिन्फोर्स सेक्शन कसा झालाय तयार, तर सिंगली रिन्फोर्स सेक्शन आपण एक घेतला नॉर्मल आणि त्याच्यामध्ये एक ऍडिशनल सेक्शन आपण ऍड केला आणि या दोघांना जर मी ऍड केलं तर मला हे असा दिसल सेक्शन. Okay, that is your W reinforced section. So every quantity will get added. If I want to calculate the total area of steel, then it will be AST1 for singly reinforced section plus AST2 of this added section. If I add this, I will get total AST. In terms of AST also, here there is no steel in compression zone. So whatever may be the AST here in the added section, that will be there in your total section. Okay. Similarly, in the case of bending moment also. So the total bending moment mu is equal to the bending moment of or maximum moment of singly reinforced section. So maximum moment is nothing but limiting moment, that I have already told you. So mu limiting plus, let us assume that I have taken a notation mu2. You can take any notation over here, mu1, mux, muy, muz, whatever you want. So mu2 is the bending moment of this added section. So if you add these together, you will get this. Okay. So below this now, we will draw now the stress strain diagram so that it will be very clear for the understanding. So now suppose, okay, this is the line. Then now what will be the, now here below this doubly reinforced section, I am drawing the stress strain curve of doubly reinforced section. Okay. So now what will be the stress strain curve? It will be, sorry, stress diagram. I am drawing here stress and strain diagram. So it will be like this. Then you know that for some time it is straight. Okay, you know this curve. We have seen already. And now after this, it will become parabolic. So it will move like this. It will become parabolic. So I have not drawn it very clearly, but you can understand. So it will become parabolic. So if I show you the forces, so here the total compressive force will be acting. Total compressive force, that is, this is your total sleeve. Then at the bottom means at the level of steel, huh? At this level, I am not talking about this, I am talking about this level. At this level, tensile force will be there. So here at this level, your tensile force will be there, total tensile force, and this we called it as steel. Now how those are made? Now again, if we draw the singly reinforced beams diagram, okay, so this is our baseline again. So the diagram will be, same shape will be there. discontinued, it come down, and then parabolic shape. So it is like this. Okay, but where are your CU? So CU, you know that C here somewhere at this level. Okay, so your CU will be somewhere at this level. D minus 0.42 x is the lever arm, and from top it is at a distance of, let us call this as CU1 for singly reinforced section. Okay, and you know that this is how much? This is 0.42 XU. We have already seen. And where is your total tensile force? Your total tensile force will be here again at this level. At this level for the singly reinforced section, your tensile force. So it will be, I will draw somewhere here. So this is your TU1. Okay, you know this value CU1. What is CU1? 0.36 FCK B into XU. And what is TU1? 0.87 FY into AST1. Okay. And now the additional section, we will look for the additional section also. And for that, again, if you draw the diagram, so again the shape will be same. Same curve we are going to plot. But see the difference. Where is the force acting? That is the most important thing. So here is somewhere our neutral axis is there. Okay. So now if I again draw the forces, compressive force, then the compressive force is acting at which level? At this level here. You will see that the compressive force will act here. Cu2 will act at this point. Okay. So here the Cu2 will act over here at this point. Here somewhere. Somewhat below I will take. Okay. And your Tu2 will be act at the level of steel. Here somewhere your Tu2 will act at the level of steel. Okay. So here if I show, this is the additional section, that is why I am showing over here to you. This is your Tu. So here same, if I show, it will be here at this point. So this is called as your Cu2 and this is Tu2. Okay, this is your Tu2 over here and this is your Cu2 in this way. Okay, are you getting my point? So similarly, if I show all the forces, here it will be your Tu1 and here somewhere below this Cu1 is acting, and here at this point, okay, you will get the total Cu and total T. Okay, so here it is Cu1, this is your Cu1 and this is your Tu. Okay. So this is the basic diagram, and if I add these two, so now if I want the total compressive force of the doubly reinforced sections, then what will I do? I will add this Cu1 plus Cu2. We will see the value afterwards. What is Cu1, what is Cu2, and if I want total tensile force, then I will add this Tu2 is equal to Tu1 plus Tu2. Okay, so I will get the total tensile force. Now we will look the value. So these you have already known. What is Cu1? So if I write the formula for Cu1, then it will be Cu1 is singly reinforced section. So this formula already we know that 0.36 FCK B into XU. Okay. Then what is Tu1? This also you know that 0.87 Fy into AST. This is the formula for 1. We will use the notation 1. Okay. And what is the Z1 lever arm? It is D minus 0.42 XU. So the lever arm, if you want to see, then what is the lever arm distance? So here if I show you, so this is your Z1 and this is your Z2. Okay. So here your Z1, this is nothing but D minus 0.42 XU. Okay, this we know that. And here Z2, it is nothing but it is effective depth minus effective cover in compression zone, D minus D dash, because this distance is D dash where it is acting here, you know that this is your D dash. Okay, and up to this point here your effective depth is there up to this point. This is your D effective depth from top up to the center of reinforcement, because your TU2 is acting at the reinforcement level. So from top up to the center of these bars, that is your effective depth. So this is your effective depth. Okay. So now see here. Now we want to calculate the CU2. So what is the CU2? So the general formula, we will go by general formula. CU2. Cu is nothing but compressive force. Okay. So this is the compressive force is nothing but, again the formula is stress into area. Basic formula, we will go from basic. Stress is nothing, force is nothing but it is stress into area. Now Cu2 is equal to, what is the stress? So see that Cu2 is acting over here. Okay. Now what is the area of reinforcement? Area of reinforcement is ASC. What is the stress? So stress in the steel in compression zone, it is known as FSC. FSC is the stress in steel in compression zone. So here this is called as FSC. This meaning of this is stress in steel in compression zone into area of compression zone. Okay, so this is the your force. Are you getting my point? So here what I want to say, when you talk about the tension zone, what is our stress in steel? We always take the stress in steel Fy. करेक्ट. आपण एफ वाय घेतो नेहमी. एफ वाय हे काय असतंय तर स्ट्रेस इन स्टील इन टेन्शन झोन. तसं इथं स्टील टेन्शन झोन मध्ये आहे का नाही. स्टील कुठे आहे कंप्रेशन झोन मध्ये. सो इट इज इन कंप्रेशन झोन. सो व्हॉट इज द स्ट्रेस इन स्टील इन कंप्रेशन झोन. इट इज कॉल्ड एज एफ एस सी. Stress in steel in compression zone. It is FSC notation is given to that, and Fy is the notation for stress in steel in tension zone. Okay, so this is the area. But if you closely see that whenever you provide the steel in compression zone, इथं तुम्ही एवढे स्टीलचे 3 बार टाकले, बरोबर आहे का. पण हे 3 बार ज्या वेळेला तुम्ही तिथं स्टीलचे टाकले त्यावेळेला काय झालं, एवढा कॉन्क्रीटचा एरिया मायनस झाला का नाही. एवढा कॉन्क्रीटचा फोर्स काय होणार त्यातनं मायनस होणार. समजतंय का. आधी काय होतं इथं बघा प्लेन, इथं फक्त कॉन्क्रीट आहे. हिअर ओनली कॉन्क्रीट इज देअर. सो देर इज अ नो मायनस. बरोबर आहे. पण ज्या वेळेला तुम्ही इथं स्टीलचे बार इन्सर्ट करताय म्हणजे असे स्टीलचे बार टाकताय तर तेवढा कॉन्क्रीटचा एरिया तिथनं काय झाला रिड्यूस झाला. मग कॉन्क्रीटचा एरिया रिड्यूस झाला म्हणजे तेवढा कॉन्क्रीटचा फोर्स पण काय होणार आहे रिड्यूस होणार आहे. मग तो किती रिड्यूस होणार आहे तर एरिया तुम्हाला माहिती एएससी. एएससी एवढा एरिया तुम्हाला माहिती. पण स्ट्रेस किती असणार आहे तर कॉन्क्रीट मधला मॅक्सिमम स्ट्रेस किती असतो 0.446 FCK. यू नो दॅट. What is the maximum stress here? 0.446 FCK. What is the maximum stress? 0.446 FCK. Here also 0.446 FCK. This also we have already seen. So the Cu2. So therefore your final Cu2 will be, it is FSC. FSC I will not write directly. If we are talking about Cu2, so I will draw that diagram only over here. This is neutral axis. So these are the steel bars which are in compression zone. Okay. And these are the bars which are in tension zone. So where is your Cu2 is acting right now? So your Cu2 it is acting at this level. This is the level where your Cu2 is acting. This is your distance from the top of this force is d dash. Okay, effective. But now whenever it is acting over here, so what is the basic formula? This is basically force. This is basically force. Force is what? Force is nothing but stress into area. Okay. So what I will do, Cu2 is my force. What is the stress? So here in tension zone, if you see, if I draw the diagram more clearly, then here in the tension zone, here your Tu2 will be there. Okay. This is your Tu2 tensile force. So in tension zone, what is the stress in steel? It is Fy. Fy is the stress in steel. And in compression zone, what is the stress in steel? Fsc is the stress in steel. Fsc is the stress in steel. Okay, so I will write here FSC. FSC means what? Stress in steel in which zone? In compression zone. In compression zone. Okay, and what is the meaning of this Fy? Fy is nothing but it is stress in steel in tension zone. Okay, so these two are different. Okay, this is for compression, this is for tension. One is for compression, another is for tension. So now Cu2 is in compression zone. So I should consider the stress in compression zone. So stress in compression zone is Fsc into what is the area of steel? The area of steel is ASC, whatever may be 3 bars of 10 mm, 3 bars of 8 mm, 3 bars of 16 mm, whatever it may be, 12 mm. So this is my Cu. But actually what happening now, understand the things. If I provide these 3 bars in the above the neutral axis, that is in the compression zone. So what is I am actually doing? I am increasing the area of steel in compression zone, but simultaneously I am decreasing the area of concrete from the compression zone. बरोबर आहे. मी स्टील ऍड करतोय म्हणजे माझं स्टील कुठे ऍड होतंय? तर जरी माझं स्टील ऍड झालं तरी तेवढा माझा कॉन्क्रीटचा एरिया काय होतोय? मायनस होतोय. बरोबर आहे. मग मला जर इफेक्टिव्ह फोर्स पाहिजे असेल की टोटल फोर्स काय नेमकं येतंय बाबा Cu2, तर मला काय करावं लागेल की स्टीलचा जो फोर्स आहे त्याच्यातनं कॉन्क्रीटचा फोर्स काय करावा लागणार आहे? मायनस करावा लागणार. ओके, कारण तेवढं कॉन्क्रीट आपण रिमूव्ह करतोय, तेवढी जागा तुम्हाला सोडावं लागणार ना बार टाकायसाठी, म्हणजे तेवढ्या जागेत कॉन्क्रीट नसणार आहे. ओके, मग कॉन्क्रीटचा जर तुम्हाला फोर्स मायनस करायचा असेल, इफ यू वॉन्ट टू मायनस द फोर्स ऑफ द कॉन्क्रीट, देन व्हॉट यू विल डू? अगेन द सेम थिंग, फोर्स इज इक्वल टू व्हॉट इज द फॉर्म्युला? स्ट्रेस इंटू एरिया. पण आता तुम्ही मायनस कुणाचं करताय? कॉन्क्रीटचं करताय, म्हणजे स्ट्रेस कुणाचा घ्यावा लागेल? कॉन्क्रीटचा घ्यावा लागेल. सो व्हॉट इज द स्ट्रेस ऑफ कॉन्क्रीट in compression zone? It is 0.446 FCK. This is the stress in concrete. Okay, and what is the area? Area will be same ASC, कारण मी 3च बार टाकतोय ना, मग तेवढंच माझं कॉन्क्रीट रिमूव्ह होणार आहे. So this is my effective force Cu2. Okay, so the Cu2, if I finally write this, then it will be FSC minus 0.446 FCK into ASC. So in some book if you see that, in some book if you see this 0.446 FCK, this quantity is neglected in some book. Okay, but we should consider this. Okay. So in Cu2, so once again I will tell you, listen carefully. Here at the level of steel, your tensile force is acting. Here at this level in the compression zone, your compression force is acting, compressive force is acting. So what is the basic formula of the force? Force is nothing but stress into area. Fine. So in the tension zone, the stress in steel we called it as Fy, and we accordingly take the value of Fy 415, 500, 550, whatever it may be, 250. So Fy is nothing but stress in steel in tension zone. This is the most important thing. It is in tension zone. But now we are dealing with our steel which is in compression zone. So compression zone मध्ये स्टील मधला स्ट्रेस वेगळा असणार आहे. तर तो जो स्टील मधला स्ट्रेस आहे तो आपण कुठल्या नोटेशनने देतो, तर त्याला FSC म्हणतात. So this is called as FSC is nothing but stress in steel in compression zone. Okay, but now when you provide the steel bars in compression zone, मी जेवढे स्टीलचे बार कंप्रेशन झोन मध्ये प्रोव्हाइड करेन तेवढा माझा स्टीलचा एरिया वाढेल, नो डाऊट, करेक्ट. बट तेवढाच माझा कॉन्क्रीटचा एरिया काय होणार आहे, रिड्यूस होणार आहे का नाही. ओके, इनिशियली सिग्नी रिन्फोर्स मध्ये इथं फुल्ली कॉन्क्रीट होतं, इथं पूर्ण कॉन्क्रीट होतं, स्टील बार्स नव्हते तिथं डिझाईन केलेले. पण ज्या वेळेला तुम्ही हे ऍडिशनल स्टील बार्स टाकणार आहात कम्प्रेशन झोन मध्ये, तर त्यावेळेला काय होणार आहे, तर हा जो कॉन्क्रीटचा जो काही एरिया होता तो कॉन्क्रीटचा एरिया कमी होणार, कारण तुम्ही स्टीलचा एरिया इथं वाढवलाय. ओके, सो जर मला नेट इफेक्टिव्ह फोर्स जर मला पाहिजे असेल तर what I will first calculate what is the force in steel. Okay, total compressive force in steel, that is nothing but stress in steel into area of steel. Okay, so this is by this force we are getting by the addition of the steel, but while adding the steel, simultaneously that area, some area of the concrete is getting reduced. So how much force is getting reduced? Again the same basic formula for the force, stress into area. But now which material is getting reduced? Concrete area is getting reduced. So what is the stress in concrete? The stress in concrete is 0.446 FCK. And what is the area of concrete? जेवढं तुम्ही स्टील ऍड कराल तेवढंच तुमचं कॉन्क्रीट मायनस होणार आहे. म्हणजे एरिया काय असणार आहे तुमचा, सेम असणार आहे. तुम्ही 3 बार ऍड केले तर 3 बार एवढं कॉन्क्रीट तुम्हाला रिमूव्ह करावं लागेल. तुम्ही जर 5 बार ऍड केले तर 5 बारला जेवढी जागा लागणार आहे तेवढंच तुमचं कॉन्क्रीट ऑटोमॅटिकली रिमूव्ह होईल. ओके, so the area will remain same, so area will be ASC. Okay, but the stresses changes. This is FSC is the stress in the steel in compression zone, and 0.446 FCK is the stress in concrete in compression zone. Okay, so this is minus 0.446 into FCK, and if you take ASC common from both the terms, this is the value of your Cu2. So your Cu2 is FSC minus 0.446 FCK into ASC. Okay, and what is the value of your Tu2? Tu2 will be as usual. Tu2 is nothing but it is 0.87 into Fy. Now why I have taken Fy over here? Because this steel is in tension zone. So Fy. And for Cu2 I am taking FSC because the Cu2 steel is in compression zone. So FSC is the stress in compression for steel and Fy is the stress in tension for steel. Into area of steel is AST2. Okay, so this is your AST2. So these are the values. Okay, so now if I club together all the formulas, then here I will write Cu1. This is already known to you, 0.36 FCK B into XU. Then Tu1, this is your 0.87 Fy AST1. Then Z1 is the lever arm between Cu1 and Tu1, and it is D minus 0.42 XU. This already we have seen for singly reinforced section. Okay, and what is the maximum bending moment over here? That is MU limiting. We call that as MU limiting. Okay, now Cu2. What is Cu2? So Cu2 is nothing but it is stress in steel minus stress in concrete, okay, into ASC. Now what is Tu2? Tu2 is nothing but it is 0.87 Fy into AS2. And what is Z2? Z2 is the lever arm between Cu2 and Tu2. It is D minus D dash. Okay. And here the bending moment generated we called it as Mu2. Okay, Mu2. So when you club these together, when I club Cu1 and Cu2, then I will get total compressive force. When I club Tu1 and Tu2, then I will get total tensile force. Okay, algebraic sum if I do of these forces, then I will get the total force. Okay, so I will write over here total compressive force. Total compressive force. This is your Cu, which is nothing but Cu1 plus Cu2. Here your total tensile force. Okay, that is TU, total TU. So it is TU1 plus TU. Okay. So take the screenshot of this. This is very important. This is very important. Okay. Now the question is here, if you see all the formulas, 136 is constant, FCK we know the value, B is the section, XU also we can find out, area of steel also we can find out, FY is also known to us, D is the effective depth. Okay. Here 0.446 again, FCK also known to us, it is the grade of concrete. FY again, it is the grade of steel. D dash is the effective cover in compression zone. D is the effective depth. But the thing is that what is FSC and how to calculate this FSC? So FSC is the stress in steel in compression zone, that I have already told you. But how do we calculate the value of this FSC? This is the most important thing. Why? Because you know that FY ची value तुम्ही घेऊ शकता ना. FY it is depend upon grade of steel. It is either 415 or it is 500 or it is 250. Whatever the grade of steel, depending upon that FY value is dependent. But how to calculate this FSC? Because FSC is the stress in steel in compression zone. So for that FSC now, let us see further how to calculate this FSC. Okay. So if the mild steel is there, first condition I will write over here. If the mild steel is there, mild steel means what? Fe250. Okay. If the mild steel is there, what is the grade of mild steel? Fe250. If the mild steel is there, then FSC value is FSC is equal to, it is 0.87 Fy. How do we calculate the FSC? It is 0.87 Fy. कधी येणार FSC ची value? When Fe250 steel is there. Okay, Fe250 steel is there. This is for mild steel. And when the torr steel is there, when I say torr steel, then two categories are there. Fe415 first thing, and second is Fe500. Okay, so now I will write over here what we actually needs to do for this. This table is also important, write it down. For this, we have to calculate strain first. Okay, we have to calculate the strain first. Okay, and then depending upon the value of strain, depending upon the value of strain, FSC can be calculated. म्हणजे काय बघा, एकदा मराठीत सांगतो, नीट लक्ष द्या. जेव्हा माइल्ड स्टील असणार आहे त्यावेळेला स्टीलचं ग्रेड काय असणार आहे? Fe250. त्यावेळेला जर मला स्टील मधला स्ट्रेस काढायचा असेल कंप्रेशन झोन मध्ये, तर त्याचा फॉर्म्युला, त्याचा डायरेक्ट फॉर्म्युला आपल्या जवळ, त्याला काय प्रॉब्लेम नाही. वी आर हॅव्हिंग डायरेक्ट फॉर्म्युला. इट इज 0.87 Fy. दॅट्स इट. इफ यू पुट दिस फॉर्म्युला यू विल गेट दिस व्हॅल्यू. ओके. प्रॉब्लेम कधी आहे? when the torr steel is there, and most of the cases we don't use mild steel, torr steel is there. Okay, but when the torr steel is there, what is the grade of steel? It is Fe415 and Fe500. Fe415 and Fe500 हे दोन ग्रेड आहेत टॉर स्टील मध्ये. तर या वेळेला काय करावं लागणार तुम्हाला? तर FSC ची व्हॅल्यू तुम्हाला डायरेक्ट मिळणार नाही. तर त्या केसमध्ये तुम्हाला आधी काय कॅल्क्युलेट करावं लागेल? तुम्हाला आधी स्ट्रेन कॅल्क्युलेट करावं लागेल. काय स्ट्रेन आहे त्या लेवलला. तर स्ट्रेन साठी जे नोटेशन आहे ते नोटेशन आपण वापरतो इप्सिलॉन SC. ओके, इप्सिलॉन SC म्हणजे स्ट्रेन. स्ट्रेन इन स्टील इन कंप्रेशन झोन. तर तुम्हाला जर स्ट्रेस इन स्टील पाहिजे कंप्रेशन झोन मधला, जर तुम्हाला स्ट्रेस काढायचा आहे, FSC ची व्हॅल्यू काढायची आहे, कुणासाठी? फॉर Fe415 आणि Fe500. इथं जसं 250 ला डायरेक्ट फॉर्म्युला मिळाला, तसं इथं डायरेक्ट फॉर्म्युला नाहीये. इथं तुम्हाला काय करावं लागणार आधी? तर तुम्हाला त्या लेवलला स्ट्रेन काय आहे तो स्ट्रेन कॅल्क्युलेट करावा लागणार. ओके, अँड वन्स यू गेट द व्हॅल्यू ऑफ स्ट्रेन देन यू कॅन कॅल्क्युलेट द स्ट्रेस. ओके, तो कसा कॅल्क्युलेट करायचा त्याचा तुम्हाला टेबल मी सांगतो कुठला टेबल आहे. बट फर्स्ट वी नीड टू कॅल्क्युलेट द स्ट्रेन. And what is the formula to calculate the strain? Now if I want to calculate the strain, then the formula for the strain is that it is 0.0035, okay, in bracket 1 minus d dash. D dash, you know that effective cover in compression zone, d dash divided by xu max. आणि हा फॉर्म्युला तुम्हाला पाठ करायची गरज नाही. इट इज गिवन इन द IS कोड. I will also give you the clause number. Okay, it is given on page number 96. So this formula it is given on page number 96, and I think it is clause number G1.2. Okay, and it is given in IS 456-2000 standard procedure. So basically understand this. मला जर FE415 आणि 500 जर स्टील प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये दिलं आणि मला जर FSC काढायचं आहे, FSC मला का कॅल्क्युलेट करावं लागणार आहे? वाय आय नीड टू कॅल्क्युलेट द FSC? Because the formula for Cu2, that is the compressive force, it is FSC into ASC. So unless and until I know the value of FSC, that is the stress in steel in compression zone, I cannot calculate the compressive force. So to calculate the stress in steel in compression zone for Fe415 and Fe500, first I need to calculate the strain at that level. And how do I calculate the strain? The strain I can calculate it as by giving this formula 0.0035, and this formula is given in IS 456-2000. G1.2 is the clause number and page number 96. Okay, so there is no need to by heart this formula, it is already with you. So in this way I can calculate the strain. Now still the question remains same. Once I know the value of the strain, then how I can calculate the value of stress? म्हणजे प्रश्न परत तेच आहे ना. जरी मला स्ट्रेनची व्हॅल्यू माहित झाली, समजा मी हा फॉर्म्युला यूज केला, आपण हा फॉर्म्युला यूज केला आहे IS कोड मध्ये बघून, ह्या डी डॅशची व्हॅल्यू आपल्याला माहित असते, एक्सयू मॅक्स आपण कॅल्क्युलेट करू शकतो. ओके, जरी आपण हा स्ट्रेन कॅल्क्युलेट केला आणि समजा आपल्याला स्ट्रेनची काहीतरी व्हॅल्यू मिळाली, तर त्या स्ट्रेन वरनं परत हा स्ट्रेस कसा कॅल्क्युलेट करायचा? So it can be calculated from the table. Now I will give you the table. Listen carefully. This table you will not find in IS 456-2000. Okay. This table is given in SP16. There is one more code is there for design. It is called as SP16. Okay. आणि दुसरा आपण वापरतो IS 456-2000. So in examination IS 456-2000 this code is allowed, but in examination SP16 is not allowed. Okay, so examination मध्ये जर डिझाईनला हा प्रॉब्लेम आला तर तुम्हाला त्या कन्सर्न स्ट्रेनची आणि स्ट्रेसची व्हॅल्यू दिलेली असते. Okay, so we will see further how we can deal with this. So now do one table. Okay, a big table is required. So here I will tell you some values and you just copy me. Okay, आता ह्या ज्या व्हॅल्यू मी सांगणार आहे, दिस व्हॅल्यू यू विल नॉट गेट इन IS 456-2000. So again I am repeating, write down these values. Okay, so first here I will write, I will take this upside. Grade of steel. Here is the grade of steel. This is our first column. Okay, then here it is epsilon SC, strain in steel. Okay, in compression zone. Epsilon SC. So I will not write now. You know that what is the meaning of this epsilon SC. So I will directly write here epsilon SC. Okay, and here FSC. So you know that here I will shortly write this is strain, and this is the corresponding value of stress. For that strain, what is the value? So here we will generate table. first now. When the grade of steel is Fe415. Okay. When the grade of steel is Fe415, then the values are first. When you get the value of strain as 0.00144. Okay. For this value of strain, the corresponding value of stress is 288.7. Okay. It is in Newton per mm square. Second, when the strain is 0.00163, the value is 306.7. Then third is when it is 0.00192. This is the strain. Then the value is 324.8. Similarly, when it is for 0.00241, it is 342.8. Okay. Then the strain is 0.00259. Then it is 347.3. And when it is 0.00276, then it is 351.8. Again it is 0.00380, then it is 360.9. Okay, so these are the corresponding values. These are the corresponding values of FSC 360.9. For which grade? Fe415. म्हणजे जर न्यूमरिकल मध्ये तुम्हाला Fe415 ग्रेड दिलं तर तुम्हाला आधी स्ट्रेन कॅल्क्युलेट करावा लागेल. हाऊ डू वी कॅल्क्युलेट द स्ट्रेन? We will calculate the strain by using this formula which is given over here. This formula, by using this formula we will calculate the strain, and after calculation of the strain we will see that value, where is that value is there. समजा दोन्ही व्हॅल्यूच्या मध्ये जर स्ट्रेनची व्हॅल्यू आली, then you need to do the interpolation. Okay, suppose now if I use this formula and I calculate the value of this strain epsilon sc, and suppose now that value is 0.00150. Okay, so that 150 is value in between this 144 and 163. So we need to do the interpolation between these four values, and after interpolation we will get this value of fs. Okay, and after that we will calculate the cu2, and after the calculation of cu2 we will calculate the total compressive force. Okay, so this is the table for Fe415. Write it down. Okay, and also take the screenshot of this. So now next, here only I will tell you for Fe500. Now if the grade is Fe500, what are the values? Okay, so now in the next slide I will tell you. Here now, grade of steel. Again the same thing, grade of steel. This is your strain epsilon st, and this is your stress fst. Again we will do same table, just now the grade of steel is changed. Now your grade of steel is Fe500. Okay, so again we will write the strain values. Now if the value is 0.00174, then your strain will be 347.8. Again if it is 0.00195, then your value is 369.6. 0.00226, then it is 391.3. Then if it is 0.00277, then it is 413.0. Then again it is 0.00312, it is 423.9. It is 0.00417, then it is 434.8. So these are the values. Take the screenshot also and write down the value. So these are the values for FE 415, FE 500. Now your question is likely to be, so what will happen if the range is beyond this? Now suppose now, if I got the value of, if I calculate the strain, and if the value of strain is 0.00512, so if you see over here in this table, 512 value is not there, and greater than the 512 value is also not there, so you cannot do the interpolation, and also you cannot get the value of 0.00512. So it is not the case. I have given you here only the certain values. If this problem will be there in the examination, the range will be given to you. ओके, म्हणजे तुम्हाला ती करस्पॉन्डिंग स्ट्रेनची व्हॅल्यू आणि स्ट्रेसची व्हॅल्यू ही न्यूमरिकल मध्येच दिलेली असते, तर तुम्हाला तिथे इंटरपोलेशन करून ती व्हॅल्यू कॅल्क्युलेट करता येते. Okay, this table is so big. Okay, it is literally 4-5 pages page table is there for all the different values of strain. Okay, so some certain values which we come across many of times, those values only I have given over here for you for solving the problem. Okay, once we started to solve the problem, it will be easier to you to understand the things. So again, the things will be remain same. If your XU is less than XU max and if your MU is less than MU limiting, your section is under enforced section. Okay, and you will use the formula MU is equal to what? TU into Z. Similarly, here if your section is balanced section, that is XU is equal to XU max and MU is equal to MU limiting, then your moment will be MU is equal to CU into Z. Okay, for balance section. And again, if your XU is greater than XU max or MU is greater than MU limiting, then these types of sections are over enforced sections. Okay, so we will not design these types of sections. So in this way, we are going to find out the moment of resisting capacity for the doubly reinforced section. Okay, so now let us see that, so that one example. Through the example, you will get the more clarity. So now, first problem. So there is only one type of problem, finding out the moment of resistance. Okay, only this type of problem is asked in the examination if it is offline. Okay, a doubly reinforced section, a doubly reinforced, or I can say that beam, 250 mm wide, 250 mm wide, and 450 mm depth, 450 mm depth to the center of tensile reinforcement. आता बघा याच्यामध्ये काय दिलेले तुम्हाला, to the depth of center of tensile reinforcement. Tensile reinforcement कुठे असते नेहमी, bottomला. Tensile reinforcement is normally at the bottom. So this depth of 450 is measured from top to the center of tensile reinforcement, means whatever bars are provided for tensile reinforcement at the center of those bars. So this is the effective depth. Indirectly they are telling you the effective depth is given to you. Okay, so this is your effective depth. So while reading the problem now, you should understand these things. What is given, what is given. Ask yourself always the question, what is given and what does it mean? Okay, while reading the problem. So 450 mm depth to the center of tensile reinforcement. If no, it is not if, it is it. It is reinforced with, it is reinforced with, with it is reinforced with 4 bars, 2 bars of 16 mm diameter, 2 bars of 16 mm diameter as a compressive reinforcement, as a compressive reinforcement, okay, with an effective cover, with an effective cover of 450 mm, sorry, with an effective cover of not 450, 50 mm, sorry, 50 mm, and 4 bars of 25 mm diameter as tensile steel. Full stop. Using M20 concrete and Fe Fe 250 steel and Fe 250 steel, calculate calculate ultimate moment of resistance, ultimate moment of resistance of beam section. Okay. So now we will read the problem and we will try to draw the diagram based on the given data. So doubly reinforced beam is there, 250 mm wide and 450 mm depth to the center of tensile reinforcement. So the effective depth is given. It is reinforced with 2 bars of 16 mm diameter as a compression reinforcement. म्हणजे top ला जी reinforcement दिलेली आहे above neutral axis, there are 2 bars of 16 mm diameter, and below the neutral axis the tensile reinforcement is 4 bars of 25 mm diameter. Okay. And they told you to use the M20 and Fe250 steel and calculate the ultimate moment of resistance. Now, so if I draw the diagram over here, if I draw the diagram, see this is our section, then this is the neutral axis, this is our neutral axis. So now what is the given data? They have told us there are 2 bars of 16 mm diameter. So I will show over here 2 bars, 1 and 2. Okay. These are the 2 bars of 16 mm diameter. But what is the effective cover? Here you can see 50 mm is the effective cover they have provided us. So if I take from the center of this bar and from top, the compression effective cover in compression zone, it is given as 50 mm. Okay, and these are the 2 bars, and at bottom what is given? 4 bars are given. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. These 4 bars of what? 25 mm diameter it is given. Okay. Now see this wording. 450 mm depth. कुठून मोजतो आपण डेप्थ नेहमी टॉप पासून. ओके. सो आय विल स्टार्ट ड्रॉइंग. 450 mm डेप्थ फ्रॉम टॉप आय हॅव टू मेजर. कुठपर्यंत मेजर करायची आहे? अप टू द सेंटर ऑफ टेन्साइल रिन्फोर्समेंट. मग सेंटर ऑफ टेन्साइल रिन्फोर्समेंट म्हणजे इथपर्यंत आलं. ओके. सो दिस इज नथिंग बट my center of tensile reinforcement. If I draw this line, see this is the center of tensile reinforcement. Okay. So up to somewhere here, this will be there. Okay. So if I move this a little bit, so this is my 450 dimension. This dimension is how much? It is 450 mm. Okay. And this is 250. So this much data is given to us. And now what is the area of steel over here? This is your AST. This is AST. Hope now you understood the thing. Okay. So now we will calculate the areas first. So what is the total area in compression zone? ASC is equal to 2 bars are given, each of 16 mm diameter. To calculate this, what is the value of area of steel? ASC. It is 402.12 mm square. Next is the area of steel, AST, total area of steel. This is the doubly reinforced section. Remember this. This is the total AST and this is total AST. Okay. So what is the value? 4 bars of how much? 25 mm diameter. So our AST is equal to, it is how much it is? Calculate this. It is 1963.49. Okay, 1963.49 mm square. So these are the values of ASC and AST. क्या value माहित झाल्या तुम्हाला? Okay. So now what we'll do? We will assume first it is balance section, and we will equate our value of Cu2 to Tu2. Okay. So now here, grade of steel first. Grade of steel. What is the grade of steel given? Grade of steel is Fe 250 it is given. Okay. So therefore, what is the stress in steel in compression zone FSC? The stress in steel in compression zone will be 0.87 into Fy because Fe 250 is given. So we will directly get the value of stress. There is no need to calculate the strain. I have already told you here. Okay. If Fe 250 is given, we will directly get this. Okay. So now what is the value? So the value is 0.87 into Fy, so 0.87 into 250. So how much it is? What was the answer? 217.5. It is 217.5 Newton per mm square. Okay. So this is the answer. So after calculation of ASC, we will equate Cu2 to Tu2. Okay, that was the additional section which we have drawn. Okay, if you remember. So Cu2 is equal to Tu2. Okay. Roll number 56. Switch off your mic. So Cu2 is equal to Tu2 means here Cu2. What is the value of Cu2? You know that. How to calculate the Cu2? It is FSC minus 0.446 FCK into AST. This is my value of Cu2, which must be equal to 0.87 into Fy into AST2. Now if I put the values over here, what is FSC? FSC is 217.5 minus FCK 0.446 into grade 20 into ASC. ASC we have already calculated now. Area of steel, it is 402.12. All this is equal to 0.87 into Fy, it is 250 into AST2, it is as it is. We don't know what is the area AST2. See, we know total area of steel. AST is known to us. Total area of steel means doubly reinforced section, complete doubly reinforced section. But here we are talking about AST2. AST2 is the reinforcement in that extra added section, which we can add into singly reinforced sections, so that we will, if we those two sections cluster together, we will get the doubly reinforced section. So AST2. So therefore, if you solve this, you will get the value of AST2. Therefore, AST2 is equal to, after solve this now fast. So how much it is? 217.5 minus here 0.446 into 20. 385.62. Okay. So the answer is 385.62 mm square. Okay. So this is my AST2. But we know that आपल्याला माहिती आहे काय total area of steel, that is AST. Total area of steel is nothing but it is AST1 plus AST2. ओके, मग टोटल एरिया ऑफ स्टील किती आपल्याला माहिती आहे 4 बार्स ऑफ 25 mm डायमीटर. AST2 ची व्हॅल्यू तुम्ही आता कॅल्क्युलेट केलेली आहे 385.62. So you can calculate the value of AST1 from this. So therefore, if I put the values over here, total area of steel is 1963.49 is equal to AST1, which is as it is, plus AST2 is 385.62. Therefore, after solving this, you will get the value of AST1, which is equal to is 1577.86 mm square. झालं तिन्ही साईडचे आपल्याला एरिया ऑफ स्टील मिळाले. सिंगली रिन्फोर्स सेक्शनचा हा जो एरिया ऑफ स्टील आहे ना, हा सिंगली रिन्फोर्स सेक्शनचा आहे. Okay, 1577. In that, if you add this additional 385.62, हा आपल्या additional section चा AST आहे. So if you add these to AST, you will get the total AST, that is 1963.49. It is the AST of your doubly reinforced section. Okay. So now calculate the value of XQ max. What will be the value of XQ max and XQ? Okay. So now we know that for Fe250, for Fe250, okay, what is the XU max by D ratio? XU max by D ratio is 0.53. This is also given in the IS code. Therefore, XU max is equal to, it is 0.53 into 450. That is your effective depth is 450. So if you solve it, you will get the value. It is 238.5. This is your XU max. So now we need to compare this XU max with XU, so that we came to know that the section is under reinforced section or balance section or over reinforced. So XU max, it is 238.5 is the value of XU max. So again, Again, equate Cu1 is equal to Tu1. Okay, so that we can calculate the Xu. So Cu1, what is the value of Cu1? It is 0.36 FCKB into Xu, because in this formula Xu term is there, which is equal to 0.87 Fy into AST1, because it is Tu1. So now 0.36 into FCK is 20 into B is 250, XU as it is, which is equal to 0.87 into Fy is 250 into AST1 1577.86. So put all the values. Now we have, what is the value of XU? It comes out to be 190.65 m. Now compare the values. Now compare the values. Here your XU is less than XU max. Okay. So what does it implies? It is it is under reinforced section. Why we calculate this under reinforced or over reinforced section? So for the under reinforced section, we can use the formula Tu into Z. For over reinforced section, Cu into Z. So here your Xu is less than Xu max. So whenever this condition occurs, your section is under reinforced section. Now for the under reinforced section, we need to calculate the moment carrying capacity, or MR, or moment of resistance, or ultimate moment. All this is the same thing. So now here we can write the formula. Mu is equal to, what will be our formula if it is under reinforced? So mu is equal to Tu into Z. This is our formula for under reinforced sections. You can refer that singly reinforced section. When the section is under reinforced, we use Tu into Z. So here, but this is our doubly reinforced section. So mu will be, this Tu is nothing but Tu1. Okay, this is nothing but Tu1 into Z1 plus Tu2 into Z2. This is the additional thing as compared to singly reinforced section. Singly reinforced मध्ये डायरेक्ट तुम्ही इथं व्हॅल्यू ठेवत होता, TU ची व्हॅल्यू आणि Z ची व्हॅल्यू. Okay, but here in the doubly reinforced section, here Tu1 into Z1 plus Tu2 into Z2. Two terms will be there. Now we need to put the values. So mu is equal to, we have calculated Tu1, what is the formula? 0.87 Fy AST1. Okay, into Z1, what is the value for Z1? It is D minus 0.42 XU. This is your first term, plus second term is Tu2. How we have calculated the Tu2? It is 0.87 Fy AST2 and multiplied by lever arm. Z2 is D minus D dash. Now just put the values over here. Mu is equal to 0.87 into Fy is 250 into AST1 1577.86 multiplied by D, effective depth 450, minus 0.42 into XU. What was the value of XU? It is 190.65. Okay, this is first term, plus for the second term it is 0.87 into 250 into AST2, it is 385.62. Okay, here in bracket D minus D dash, so 450 minus 50. So now if you solve these two brackets, you will get the value of mu, 0.49. Okay, so the answer is, it is 160.49 kilonewton meter. Okay, so this is our final answer. समजलं. इथं सेक्शन आपला अंडर इन्फोर्स आलाय. Here we have got under info section. That is why we have used here formula Cu into Z. Okay, if our section is balanced section, or if we got over info section but we are designing it as a balanced section, then here you should use the formula Cu into Z, and in that case here it will be Cu1 Z1 plus Cu2 Z2, and you need to put the values of this Cu. Whatever may be the values of Cu, you need to put over here. Okay, so here we have got the under info sections. So that is why it is Tu into Z, Tu1 Z1, Tu2 Z2. Okay, so this is I will tell you with one example. I have told you the concept of doubly reinforced section. What first today we have seen what is doubly reinforced section, then what is the necessity of doubly reinforced section, then what are the basic predominant assumptions in the doubly reinforced section that we have seen, then how the doubly reinforced section is made, that is the combination of singly reinforced section plus some additional section that we have seen. Okay, we have seen its diagram, stress distribution diagram, where the Cu is acting, where Cu1 is acting, where Cu2 is acting, where total Tu is acting, where Tu1 is acting, where Tu2 is acting. Okay, the distance between Cu1 and Tu1, it is called as Z1. Cu1 and Tu1, it is called as Z1. The distance between Cu2 and Tu2, it is called as Z2. Okay, so what is the difficulty? Please explain AST1 and AST2. So it is very easy. AST1 and AST2. Now see, I will see draw here section. Suppose now this is your doubly reinforced section. This is singly reinforced section, and this is the additional section. Okay. Now basically what here they have told you, they have given you 4 bars. Okay, 4 bars, and these are the 4 bars which are of 25 mm diameter. Okay, so this is your total AST which is given. This is made up of what? Singly reinforced section plus additional section. So in the singly reinforced section, whatever may be your area of steel, that is your AST1, and in additional section, whatever may be your area of steel, that is your AST2. ओके, मग इथं जो आपला 4 बार आलेला आहे, इथे एरिया काय मिळाला आपल्याला 1963.49 समथिंग टोटल एरिया ऑफ स्टील. ओके, when we have calculated AST2, what area we have got? 185.62, and here it is 1577.86. Okay, so now calculation of AST2. How we have calculate AST2? We know that, see, we know that if we take the forces, here somewhere your Cu is acting, Cu1, here Tu1, Cu2, Tu2. I will take this level down, this goes down somewhere here. So see, this is your Cu1, Cu2, Tu1, Tu2. What I have done, first I want to calculate this AST2. ओके, मला कॅल्क्युलेट काय करायचं आहे? AST2 करायचं आहे. काय AST2 कॅल्क्युलेट करायचं आहे? कारण AST1 मला ऑलरेडी माहिती आहे. इफ आय नो द व्हॅल्यू ऑफ दिस AST2, then I can calculate the value of AST1 easily. So for AST2, what I have done, I have considered the equilibrium of this. Okay, I have considered the equilibrium of this, and in the equilibrium I have equated these two forces, Cu2 and Tu2. Now if you equate these two forces, then what you will get? What is your Cu2? Cu2 is nothing but you have equate this Cu2 to Tu2. Okay. And when you equate this Cu2 to Tu2, you can see over here. Okay, when you equate this Cu2 to Tu2, we have written this formula. This is the formula for Cu2. This is the formula for Tu2. Now if you see both these formulas, only AST2 is the unknown term over here. Because FSC we got the direct value because the grade is 250. Okay. If this grade is not 250, then this problem will be very lengthy. Okay, now here the grade is 250 is given. So we have directly got this value FSC. We put this value over here in this equilibrium and we got the value of AST2. And once we got this value AST2, see once we got this value AST2, एकदा मला की AST2 ची जर value माहित झाली. Once I know the value of this AST2, we know that my total area of steel AST, it is nothing but what? AST1 plus AST. मग हे मला माहिती आहे, हे माहिती आहे, त्याच्यावरनं मी ही व्हॅल्यू कॅल्क्युलेट केली. आय कॅन कॅल्क्युलेट द व्हॅल्यू ऑफ AST1. ओके, असं जर मी डायरेक्टली AST1 ची व्हॅल्यू कॅल्क्युलेट करायला गेलो असतो तर मला व्हॅल्यू कॅल्क्युलेट करता आली नसती. का करता आली नसती? Now if you see the formula AST to AST1, सी ही मला जर अननोन असलं असतं, हे पण अननोन आहे आणि XU पण अननोन आहे. पहिल्यांदा जर मी हे इक्वेट केलं असतं, if I at the start if I equate CU1 and TU1 by considering the equilibrium, then I cannot solve the equation. Why? Because in that equation, unless and until I know the value of this AST1, I cannot find out the value of XU. जर मी डायरेक्टली हे इक्वेशन घेतलं असतं तर इक्वेशन एक आहे, पण अननोन किती झाले असते? दोन. दोन अननोन कुठले कुठले? तर इथं XU पण अननोन असलं असतं आणि AST1 पण अननोन आहे. मी काय मग हे इक्वेशन सॉल्व्ह नाही करू शकत आपण. Okay, that is why what we have done. First, we have gone here. We have calculated the value of AST2. From the value of AST2, we have calculated the value of AST1. And after getting the value of AST1, we put the value of AST1 over here, and then we got the value of XT. And after that, we have done this comparison: who is lesser and who is greater. Okay, and after that comparison we came to know that to calculate this mu, which formula we can use, u into z or tu into z, and the further procedure is done. Okay, now you do one thing, you see what I have taught you today in today's lecture for doubly reinforced section. You see these steps and you try to understand these steps. So tomorrow we will solve one or two problems so that it will get clear. Okay, and still if you are having any difficulty, you can ask me by WhatsApping me. Okay, just WhatsApp me if you are having some difficulty.